with Joe, co-founder of Siro. Joe, give us a quick intro about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
So I'm one of the co-founder, co-CEO here at Siro. Started Siro about 3 years ago. Before that, I was actually selling Cutco knives to moms.
Really?
So I didn't expect to be good at it or like it, but both ended up happening.
Okay.
I learned a ton from selling Cutco. Fast forward a year, I became a manager. In my year as a manager, the numbers said we did exceptionally. We finished the top 2% of sales teams in the company in my first campaign.
Wow.
I was recognized nationally, all this stuff, which felt great, but what didn't feel good is that I wasn't able to help a single one of my reps, of which I had 186, sell as much as I had the previous summer. And so a lot of them left, like probably a third of them sold nothing. Most of them left within a month with a bad taste in their mouth, honestly. And like I came away with that with so much, not just the cash, the resume building, but all the stuff I learned. And so it kind of pissed me off that I wasn't able to deliver that for a lot of my people. And the reason was I didn't have enough time to coach them. So that's really where the idea for Siro started marinating. And
Gotcha.
that's the story.
So tell us, that's a great segue. What is Siro? Some of us know what it is, some of us don't. Give us like high level, low level. Tell us what Siro is.
Sure.
What does it do? How does it help?
So high level, it's an app you download to record the conversations on the doors or in the home.
Right.
And then it uses AI to analyze those conversations to show you how to close more deals with the supporting examples from the top rep recordings.
Okay. Wow. So tell me how, I've got some ideas. How do most companies utilize the software?
Yeah, so I'll give an example. One of our account executives, Gavin Janis, great guy. He actually was a regional at Hawks doing pest control this past summer using Siro.
Okay.
And the way that he used it was we treat the door conversation as a funnel.
Yeah.
So we'll track how often you convert from each stage.
Yeah.
Going to use like Sam's words like break and preoccupation, short story, so on and so forth, all the way through.
Yeah.
And this way we can tell where you're getting stuck and exactly where the drop-off is without you even ever having to listen to a recording.
Man,
and
that's
so
incredible.
Like Gavin saw is like, hey, they're getting through the intro, they're getting through the bugs, and then after that, our top reps are getting to pricing 70-80% of the time. The bottom 80% of reps are only getting to pricing 20-30% of the time. And so it's like, okay, wow, that's a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
So then what did he do?
Great information.
Yeah. And then so he took the examples from the top reps that were getting through it, and it was really two things. Just be aggressive about bringing it up and get through the early smoke screen. And so they played a couple of examples, and their team meetings focused on it on a week. And in 1 week, they went from 251K to 327K in sales.
Jeez.
Their bottom 80% of reps improved by 35%, and they set the foundation for that summer to have the highest retention in the company, and they never dip below 300K again.
Wow, that is incredible. It doesn't surprise me with that kind of a tool.
Yeah.
I'm a systems operations guy. I act as a COO for a roofing company in Kentucky.
Yep.
I'm a roofing expert, so I consult a lot of CEOs on things just like that. And I think that like KPIs are everything. They're the indicators, of where things are going well and where things are going very wrong. So honestly, before Siro, was there a tool like this other than an actual person you have to pay a lot of money to like shadow and train people?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. And that's why like the 80-20 rule in sales has existed. Door-to-door is the oldest period sales or marketing tool in the book. It's older than electricity. It's older than democracy. It's older than compasses. It's older than concrete.
Yeah.
It was founded around the time we invented the wheel, right? And so it's been around as long as humans have had civilization. We've had door-to-door. And we've always had this 80-20 rule where the top 20% of reps produce 80% of the revenue, get 80% of the commissions. And so everyone else gets 20% of the sales, 20% of the commissions, the other 80% of reps. And so the way I like to frame it is like, I think it's actually a myth that there's such a thing as an okay sales rep. There's two types of sales reps, exceptional ones and ones that are struggling. And we don't call those 80% of reps struggling because it's been that way for so long.
Right.
And
well, we believe that story.
Yeah, and
But maybe we shouldn't now.
yeah, we shouldn't, because look, door-to-door is an incredible opportunity, right? We all know someone whose life has completely changed, achieved total financial freedom. I got freedom from selling Cutco. Like,
Yeah, changed my life completely.
yeah, like I can work on what I want to because I know how to sell, and I'm willing to bet on myself. And I didn't get that from my business degree or my computer science degree. But the problem is, the thing we don't talk about is how most reps never get that experience in door-to-door.
Yeah,
in fact,
no,
it's
they
not
don't.
even close.
No, most reps quit.
Exactly.
Before the magic happens.
Exactly. I mean, I bet there's people at this conference today that won't even make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
They're going to quit. They're going to give up on their potential and on door-to-door. And so
Yeah.
the reason that we have this dynamic is, as leaders, we're forced right now to choose between people and profitability. It takes so much time and money to get a rep to the next breakthrough
Yeah.
that we have to spend recruiting, that we have to spend selling ourselves oftentimes just to get our paychecks in the door, building our brand on social media. And so we've just accepted as an industry that we're going to play this really grim numbers game of just throwing a bunch of reps into the machine and seeing who sticks.
Yeah.
But with AI, we can create a new game, and we don't have to play.
So tell me more. I love that, by the way. I mean, I completely relate. I completely see like the benefit as like a former roofing CEO, now a current COO of a roofing company. Like, it makes perfect sense to me of like how you could apply this to your business and literally see results like within a week.
Yeah.
Tell me more about like how AI is driving your product and maybe other products in the space.
Yeah. So I'm sure everyone knows by now there's been a ton of advancements in AI in the last year or so, from being able to generate an image with just a couple of texts. You know, draw me a picture of a penguin on a rocket ship playing basketball, and it's like generates you a picture of a penguin on a rocket ship playing basketball, right? That's called a diffusion model.
Okay.
Then there's large language models, which is what powers ChatGPT.
Gotcha.
And there's been a ton of advancements in other fields and so forth that we won't get into, but there's been all this stuff that just exploded in the last year. And we're way ahead of where AI experts expected us to be. And so the way we're applying this stuff to sales to identify where the problems are and how to find the examples that you need to change your behavior.
Right.
Now, in 12 months, the people who aren't sort of on this train are going to feel like dinosaurs because they're going to be losing to the people who are sort of on the train doing the new way. But the good news is, for the people who haven't adopted AI yet, it looks like our thesis is that AI progress is going to slow down for about 12 to 18 months. And the reason is because ChatGPT and all these large language models, all this stuff is making so much money, the companies aren't collaborating anymore.
Right.
And they're not collaborating with the universities. They're not publishing their research. I mean, all this research that actually powers all this stuff, ChatGPT was published in a paper in 2017 by Google. And if you ask any executive at Google now, was that a mistake to publish? Yeah, it was a mistake to publish, right? So it's a lot less open.
Yeah.
And things are going to slow down for a 12 to 18 month period. And so now is the time to catch up.
Wow. Okay. So if you're not utilizing AI, what you're saying is, like, if you're a business owner, now's the time.
Yeah.
Like, get in now before we hit another surge of growth.
You don't want to be two surges behind.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I wouldn't. Man, I love that. So I love that, like, you're such a diverse guy. I can tell, like, you're a lot like me in that, like, it seems like sales was maybe not something that you were like, yeah, I'm going to be a sales guy when I grow up, when you were like 4. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I had other plans for my life. It sounds like you had other plans for yours, and then somehow found yourself at Cutco or maybe somewhere else before that, and you're like, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Got a letter in the mail.
Okay.
I was just going to be a camp counselor that summer.
Okay.
And I got a letter in the mail. It said like $17.50 base per appointment or something like that. Entry-level sales. Like, oh, this will look better on my resume, and it seems like it pays more than I get now.
Okay.
Went in, found out it was selling knives, selling Cutco. I was like, sounds pretty weird, but like, let's try it. My dad actually, exactly. My dad actually tried to convince me not to do it and thought I was going to fall flat on my face because he was
I think most of our parents did at one point in time.
Totally.
just unknowing,
Yeah, they want to protect their kids, right?
Yeah.
But it ended up being one of the best decisions I've ever made, and I am so grateful that my mom freaking found that letter, opened it, and showed it to me. Because otherwise, like, I would have never found my way into sales. I would never be able to do what I'm doing now. Like, I have a degree from...
What is your degree in?
So I have 2 degrees, one in computer science from Penn, and then one in business from Wharton, which is generally considered the #1 business school in the world. And I would trade that degree for that summer at Cutco in an instant.
Really?
I mean, I learned a lot from that, right? And it helps for what I'm doing now, but there's no way I'd be able to do it without the sales skill and the willingness to bet on myself, and I only got that at Cutco.
So you're saying, I don't know how much you paid for that education. I imagine a fair amount, or got a lot of grants and scholarships.
Yeah.
You were saying that you would give that up for one summer that you literally get paid to do.
Yes.
Wow. I love that. I hope you guys are listening. I can definitely relate with that. I don't have any degrees. I tried to go to college twice. Wasn't my thing.
Yep.
But learning itself was.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, there are 2 jobs that have changed my life. Like, Chad before the job, Chad after the job.
Yeah.
One was my first job knocking doors, like, for real.
Yep.
And then second was becoming an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So, like, those are the 2 things, like, I'm unrecognizable before and after.
Yep.
Would you agree?
100%. 100%.
Tell me how, like, business has changed you as a person.
Yeah.
I know door-to-door has. I've been there. I can see that. Tell me more about how business has changed you.
Yeah. It's a good question. I think it's done 2 things for me.
Okay.
Firstly, it's given me more agency as a person, because I have sort of the full reign of creativity and autonomy to make whatever decisions I think are best for the company, and having that full reign sort of makes me more agentic, let's say. So that's
that.
one. The second thing is it helped me grow up, man. Like, at this point, when we were here last year, right? We had 1 employee. It was me and my co-founder and 1 employee.
Wow.
We took 21 people here this year. We raised
Holy cow.
almost $18 million in our seed NRA in the past year.
Wow.
And now it's like, I've grown up, man. I got people depending on me to deliver and point them in the right direction.
I get it.
So
I get it.
Yeah.
I think that's been my experience as well, like, with business. Like, I definitely relate to the first one, and I love agency. I love, like, autonomy.
Yeah.
It's a love language to me. Like, I just love being able to determine, like, what my day looks like, how it's structured. Although, it's funny because I think a lot of people are like, in fact, I was with a rep last night, and he was like, man, because I sold my last business in March, and I just started another one.
Congrats.
He's like, man, I figured if you sold your business, you have all this money, I'd be on beaches. And I'm like, well, you haven't done that, obviously, because, like, no one who's going to do that or get to that point and be able to do that is going to stop. Because it's not about the money. It's not about, you know what I mean? Like, if that was the driving force, obviously I would have quit a long time. I would have probably done sales if money was like what I really wanted.
Yeah.
I don't think being a business owner, it's more of a long play. I mean, I don't know. Is that the same in the tech space, or?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, people ask me all the time, like, hey, what's your plan for the exit? Are you trying to get bought? Are you trying to, and it's like, that's not what I think about.
Right.
It's like, we created the company to disrupt the 80-20 rule, point blank period.
Yeah.
If we do that,
That's
the
so
exit
cool,
will
dude.
take care of itself. Like, we'll be completely fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, so I guess let's wrap it up with one more question. Like, what does the future look like for Siro and for you and your team? Like, what's next? How are we, like, what can we expect from Siro?
Yeah, so high level, like, we've gotten to the point where you can scale kind of the way we currently do coaching, right? The ride along, you can basically fully do through Siro now. You can jump actually just to the highlights, or cut the hour-long call into 5 minutes, or the 10-minute call into 2, right?
Wow.
And now the sales rep can coach themselves, using the examples in there, the analytics in there, kind of diagnose the problem, get a coaching focus, and learn from the examples. So sort of step 3, if step 1 is scale current coaching, step 2 is let reps coach themselves, step 3 is to start to proactively coach people through Siro, to where it's identifying based on the analytics the problem and then automatically pushing examples, so on and so forth.
Wow.
And that's really the next step for us. And in parallel, one of the things we do want to do at some point is enable any rep to download Siro off the App Store without their company being on it.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, and be able to learn from some of the best people, like Sam, for example, and see some of Sam's recordings, see some of your guys' recordings in there. We're still figuring out exactly how we'll make it work, but that's one of the things we're thinking about from a product standpoint, yeah.
That's so cool, man. Gosh, I mean, guys, if you don't have Siro, you need to check it out. Where can they find out about you? How can business owners, reps, like, if you're interested, how do they get set up? How do they set up an appointment? What do they do? Yeah, absolutely. So we can walk you through the platform, talk through how the onboarding works, some of the case studies, the ROI we've seen with other companies. If you just head to Siro.ai, SIRO.ai, you'll see a big book a meeting button there. Just click that. If you're more curious on my story, the why behind Siro, the founding story, our mission, we do have a tab called Our Vision that sort of lays out our entire story, our goal. There's some nice graphs in there from our experience at Cutco, where we want to go. So Siro.ai for both the meeting and for the vision.